Room 442 here, and I'm joined with Mike Singh talking all TFC today. Mike, we know that TFC has had a really rough start to the season. 13 games played so far and only 3 wins. What is your takeaway?
This was probably expected when team management, Bob Bradley, namely, kind of restructured this squad. You had 18 players out of the 30 that were on last year's roster depart the club this offseason, and only 10 were brought in. The majority of those 10 players were academy products, first-year MLS players from the Canadian Premier League, and then a sprinkle of 1 or 2 additions that are sort of veterans that are supposed to help these kids along. So I would say that this rough start was probably expected. When they began this season, they began it hot. They won 3 out of their 4 games unbeaten, and expectations were sort of raised from that point. But the reality is this recent stretch, 5 games without a win, 6 games now without a win, is probably closer to what TFC actually are. I would argue that they're not as bad as they've shown, but they're certainly not as good as they showed earlier this year. So it's growing pains, but this was sort of expected when you consider the amount of young players that are getting minutes.
Sure. And when I was outside BMO Field 2 weeks ago for the game they played against Orlando, I spoke to many TFC fans who said they're all waiting for the Italian man Lorenzo Insigne to come and that he will solve all of their problems. Do you really think that Insigne can fix this team?
It's going to take a lot more than just Lorenzo Insigne to fix this team. It's great that he'll be here. He'll definitely make this team a lot better. He'll be good at holding up the ball. He'll create more chances for this team. But TFC's biggest problem so far this season has been their inability to sort of keep the ball out of the net. Last season, they allowed a franchise worst in terms of goals conceded. And this season, they're not that much better, even though that was an area they kind of set out to address. They've gone 21 games in a row, which ties a franchise record, without keeping a clean sheet. And when you're not doing that, it's tough to win in this league when you're not keeping the ball out of your net. So first and foremost, I think they definitely need to go out and address that position, whether that's getting another center back, getting a full back. They just need to do something to sort of address that back line. And then beyond that, I'd like to see them go out and add a number 10. When Alejandro Pozuelo isn't on the pitch, TFC struggle. They struggle to create legitimate scoring chances. So you need someone else there to sort of create along with Lorenzo Insigne, and I think that's another need they kind of need to address this summer.
So there's a lot of spots that need help with this team.
Definitely.
Speaking of defenders, let's talk about Carlos Salcedo. Mikey has a piece coming out on theparley.com, so make sure you check that out, all about Salcedo and what's going on with him. So he's getting paid a lot of money right now. And is he worth everything he's getting paid?
Yeah, I mean, according to the MLSPA, he's making over $2 million. That's the most of any defender right now in Major League Soccer. Has he been the best defender in Major League Soccer? Absolutely not. It's not very common that you see a team go out and use a designated player spot in MLS on a defender. But TFC did that this offseason when they brought in Carlos Salcedo. And safe to say, so far, he definitely has not lived up to expectations. That being said, the quality is there. You can see he has the potential. What Bob Bradley wants, and this is sort of what I'm writing about today for theparley.com, is that he wants more consistency out of Salcedo. He wants him to be more of a leader at the back, which is crucial when you're a defender, and it's crucial when you're a designated player. It's not just Salcedo that Bob Bradley's kind of pointing to. He's kind of pointing to himself a little bit there as well, saying he needs to do more to get more out of Salcedo. So you need to find ways to kind of get the best out of your best players. Salcedo, Pozuelo. I think the team's still kind of working on that right now, and we'll see if they move forward from here.
Well, we are hoping as Toronto fans that they do. Again, make sure you check out theparley.com for Mikey's piece on Salcedo, which will be coming out tonight. And for all other content on TFC and soccer, check out parlay.tv.